There we are. I think that everybody knows everybody. Anyway, I'm Nicole. I'm the coordinator of the rapid response mechanisms in Oxfam Intermon. And I will lead the session today with some support from Melanie that will introduce herself as well. Melanie, if you want to introduce yourself, we'll make a quick round.
Sorry, I was in mute, sorry.
I will start.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. You can start.
Oh, no, you can start, Mesa. No, start yourself.
It's
okay.
Mesa, a finance officer based in Gaza. Thank you.
Well, I'm Melanie, a compliance officer. I'm based in Barcelona.
Hi, I'm Ahlam, and I'm here with my colleague Mahir. We're both working on the compliance and funding side of things in Ramallah office.
Hello, that's me.
Hi everyone, this is Tariq. Sorry, Mahir, go ahead.
No, Tariq, go ahead. I was just saying that's me.
Okay, this is Tariq. I'm senior finance officer. I think Muhammad and Jihad, if you can introduce yourselves.
Hello, Jihad Abdul Mohsen. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Come on, okay. Jihad Abdul Mohsen, Administrative and Financial Manager, BEF.
Mohammed, do you want to introduce yourself?
Mohammed Migdad, the Programs Manager from Palestinian Environmental Affairs.
Great, thank you. So let's go by sharing my screen. So you should now see the PowerPoint. Can you see it?
Yes.
Today we are going to do the training for the justification of the ACCD activation. So there is a small introduction about the agreement. Here are the contents that we will go through. We have 1 hour time. I think it will be enough, but in case that there are some more questions, we can still go ahead, or you can send them in bilateral. So the agreement is, as you know, it's working like the IFID agreement. It's a long-term agreement that this one is for 1 year, the IFID is for 3 years. Through this agreement, we do some activations. We did one for Democratic Republic of Congo, and the second one was on for Gaza. For the one we are going to explain now, the whole agreement it's founded by 575,000 euros from CCD, and the rest from Oxfam Intermon. The objective is to provide funds to crises or sudden emergencies caused by natural or man-made disasters, or long-term or underfunded crises. So these are the generalities of the RRM. So it's quite popular within the Catalan and the Spanish NGOs. I have to say that for the ACCD, the last year it was founded, this kind of instrument was in 2011 or 2012. So it has been a long time that they didn't found any kind of these instruments because of budget issues. So now they are going to found, well, they founded the one for 24-25, and we just submitted the one for 26. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we are going to get it. The implementation of activations, it's from 6 months to 12 months. Years is for 6 months, if I remember well, and it can be there can be non-cost extensions for 3 months without approval from ACCD, and for other 3 months with the approval of the ACCD. Here's NIRAB. So, hello, we already started. So I'm going to continue, and then if you want, you can introduce yourself. So the focus is to populations that are victims of situation of armed conflict, natural disaster, post-conflict or post-natural disasters in rehabilitation processes, the assistance to displaced population or refugees, taking into account disaster prevention, vulnerability reduction, and the protection of affected populations in situation of human crisis and the causes behind them. So I'm not going to extend a lot in the generalities because we already know most of them. The objective is to develop in accordance with international codes of conduct and universal humanitarian principles in line with international reference frameworks and initiatives, and to meet the needs of the beneficiaries in the specific sectors of intervention. In our case, in the case of Oxfam Intermon, the specific sector of intervention is WASH, water, sanitation, and hygiene, with secondary sectors as food assistance and nutrition and protection. But the main sector must be always WASH for being able to activate the RRM. The areas of expertise and the areas that are covering the RRM. So the RRM is global. There is no restriction of geographical framework. There must be a specific increase in indicators of humanitarian crisis, the existence of a large number of victims and people affected, existence of a specific requests from civil society or from the government authorities, an international appeal for humanitarian aid, the repetition or entrenchment over time of high levels of specific indicators, the appearance of a specific indicators suddenly, just like, for example, in a sudden crisis, and inadequate political or economical capacity of national and local authorities to respond to the needs of the population. As I said, the duration of the agreement, the global one, is 1 year. The last activation can be activated the 1st of December of 2025. The activation request can be done by the ACCD, by Oxfam, and it has to be always approved by the ACCD. There can be one or more local partners, so it's something that is required and not obliged, but somehow ACCD is very focused on localization. So the total grant is 575,000 euros, sorry, with the co-founding from Oxfam Intermon. For by activation, there is a minimum of 150,000 euros and a maximum of 290,000 euros by activation. There must be of a minimum of 6 months with a maximum of extension of 12 months, although there can be non-cost extensions from up to 3 months without pre-approval and for more than 3 months with approval. the justification and final reports must be 6 months after the end of the date of the activation. We put on the OPA 3 months because they must all be audited. So the audit is not like in the RRM of the IT that is a yearly audit with all the activations, but is an audit by activation. So each time that an activation ends and that we have the final reports, we must directly audit them. So this is again the duration of the project and the extensions that we already said like 2 times. So any extension must be notified and justified in writing in advance when the need arises. These are the guidelines. So the let's say the official guidelines of the Catalan Development Agency. So you have here the link to box where you can find them. They are not translated in books. However, you can always ask for the translation. Maybe we can provide some, or you can always use DeepL for translating them. So it's a very, well, we will go through these guidelines in the training, but they are very linked to the funding law in the Spanish funding law and the Catalan law. So 6 months after the end date of the activation, we need to provide the final justification with a technical report, an economic report, the audit report, and in your case, the evaluation report. We will go through the technical and the economical reports. As for the evaluation, we are having another a part of the team involved on that. And it's not part of these guidelines, actually. So prior to the expenditure, if you justify any expense by receipts or certification, there is a pre-approval from the ACCD needed. We already asked for this pre-approval when the activation was approved by the ACCD. And the use of receipts is already approved by the ACCD. So the requirements for the justification, there must be, as I said, a technical and economic report. You will find them in you will find the templates in box in the activation pack. I don't know if I sent already the link because the final templates, I think that they were published by the ACCD after the activation, but we already have them, and I will send you the activation templates anyway. The activation pack with justification templates. So they include the technical report, the economic report, where you will need to report all the expenditures and other data. For the evaluation report, it will go after, well, it will go in parallel with another part of the team. And the audit report, there are some guidance documents that they haven't been translated neither because we are translating now the TOR for contracting the audit company. So we will share them if needed when we have everything. So the final report is cumulative and covers all contributions. So the ones funded by the ACCD and the ones funded by Oxfam Intermon. You know that there are some expenditures funded by Oxfam Intermon directly. In this case, in these activations, there is mainly staff that is based in Barcelona. And the audit report will examine the 100% of the expenditure, or between the 80 and the 100%. So technical documentation that needs to support the final report. As I said, technical and economic report, the final reports, updating of the logical framework if there is any kind of change, or even if there is no change, and the timetable, the list of verification sources, so the ones that you put in when we submitted the activation. Like, I think that there were some monitoring reports, final reports, PDMs, and this kind of verification sources. Also the visibility documents or graphics that you can have. The accreditation of assessments, the documentation accrediting the use of the ACCD logo, the evaluation reports that we will join the evaluation report once it's done and finished. The audit reports as well will be submitted together with the final reports. The proof that the audit firm is qualified to carry the supervision or the audit of the expenses. 3 photographs with a minimum width of 1024 and a minimum resolution of 72 pixels. This is for sharing it in the internet site of the ACCD. The justification of interest, there is no generation of interest, or that these interests are reinvested in the budget. The document from the local partner assessing the implementation of the project, so it's like the certification that the project was done and that the funds were received. Responsible VAT statement that must be included in the technical reports, and the certificate of non-recovery of VAT or unrecovered taxes. So this is something that we didn't ask yet, but we need to ask for the ACCD and also the IFID, that the VAT is not recoverable, if I remember well. So it's okay, right? Tarek?
Yes, that is correct, Nicole.
Okay.
We have to ask for both, and it's not recoverable here in Palestine.
Okay, we will do that. If I can this week, I will try to do that, because as I mentioned to Maher in a recent email, we will go to the changes that were proposed. So the ICCD and the IT and main administrative institutions in Spain, they close the whole month of August. So if you require any kind of communication or approval, we need to ask for them before the month of August.
Okay.
Then the report on the choice of contractor, if applicable. If applicable, in your case, we already asked for the approval that not to submit the 3 offers. But yes, we should have, when you select a contractor, even if you don't go with the 3 offers, we should have a report why this contractor was chosen. The act of transfer of and linking of the assets. There is a template from the ACCD for this kind of transfer. The responsible statement of the preservation of the documentation. So it's like the one done already for the IFID activation, the last one, that you preserve the documents during a minimum. I think it was for IFID 10 years, and for the ACCD is the same. The document assessing the implementation by the local partners, the table with the exchanges rate applied. So this is part of the report, of the financial report. You will find that there's a table, there's a tag where there's a table where you have to report the exchange rate applied. In your case, we ask for info euro to be applied, so you just need to report the info euro exchange rates applied. In the case of cooperating staff, so this means expatriate staff, there is no expatriate staff in this case, even not for this RRM. So,
Nicole?
yes, please
I wanted
interrupt me
to-
because I don't see you. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. I wanted to say it's important to use the templates from ICCD and ACID because in the last audit report we had a recommendation related to the transfer of the assets because the template was not ICID's one. So we had a recommendation in the audit report. So please use the templates to avoid them.
yes.
Yeah, but one comment is regarding the assets because neither in the previous activation nor the current one, I don't think we have assets to report. It
Well,
was
there is the
mainly
latrines. In the last one, there were the construction and the handover of the latrines. And in this case as well, if I
Yeah,
remember well.
but the point, the latrines were installed for the communities. You know, it's not like owned by someone. So in this case,
Yes.
the transfers of the assets who will sign it, and we already discussed this point because
The
it's for public
communities,
use. Exactly.
yes, it's always for the communities. So the founding law in Spain does not allow that is for a private beneficiary. It's always
Correct.
for the communities, even for other donors like ECO, European Union, etc. It's always for the communities. Then it has to be signed or by the communities that receive these latrines, the ones that are going to use them, so the beneficiaries that are going to use them, or the leaders of the community.
The community,
If,
like our
for
community
example,
representatives.
exactly. So, for example, just I'm not meaning that is your case, but for example, in many refugee camps, you have some leaders of the camp or some that are appointed from the community for the communities themselves. So those ones are the ones that are signing the assets. So
Clearly.
in these place camps, sometimes there is also this case. And if not, then the leaders of the community.
Perfect. Yeah, that's clear. Thanks, Nicole.
Welcome. Yes, I wanted to say, just jump in because I don't see, I just see the PowerPoint now. I don't see you and not the Teams box or something or the chat. So if you need to ask something, just interrupt and jump into the conversation. So the report templates, you can find them in this link. Here are the three templates for the final reports. So here is for the log frame, the financial report, and for the narrative or technical report. Now I need to go back. Okay, you see back the PowerPoint, right? Because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, I will see it.
Okay. Then you have the final technical report here. That should open. Well, doesn't matter. You need to fill the main paragraph or epigraph, just like main intervention, which is water and sanitation. There is no secondary intervention sector. period of start and execution, period of the grant, if there is a final evaluation being carried out, the budget, then the technical aspects of the project. It's not a very complicated questionnaire or template. It's quite easy and quite simple. So I don't think there is a big issue to submit it. But anyway, just at the moment of when you are filling it at the end of the activation, just come bilaterally, and we will give you the support needed. So you see, it's not very. Here, there is a list of the documentation that you need to attach, which is important. So it's like a recap or a checklist of the documentation to submit, which is the same one as the one I just commented in the PowerPoint. And the economical report that is here, that is also quite simple. I will go back to this and I will open it. So it's like the one, the template we submitted, the global budget. So this table fills automatically from the detailed budget, where you need to fill the executing partner, the local who is doing the expense, the budget line, the detailed expenditure, the invoice number, the invoice date, the date of payment, the ID of the supplier, the name of the supplier, the description of the invoice. Wait a minute, I will open it. Okay. The description, I think that it will be better for you for following it. Description of the invoice, the value, if there is VAT deductible, the personal income taxes, this is for salaries, the percentage allocated to the project, the total cost, the currency, the payment confirmation, the exchange rate applied, the total amount of the expense, the percentage allocated to the ACCD, the total cost allocated to the ACCD, the percentage allocated to the funders, which is not your case because it's you already have co-funding from Oxfam Intermon. The number of activities affected. So, for example, this is when you have transversal expenses like for staff costs, etc. Or if it's just for one activity that you will need to have this expense, for example, NFI's distribution, that will only affect the NFI activity. The percentage allocated to the activity, so in case that is NFI distribution, so it will go 100% to the activity related to NFI. And if it's salaries or staff expenses, so the percentage allocated to each activity. The total amount for activity, the total amount allocated to ACCD, again, the total amount allocated to Oxfam Intermon. So this is a repetition of what is this percentage. Huh? I don't know why they do it. Well, here is the percentage and the total allocated, and here they ask for by activity. But it should be the same if it's only for one activity. And
Nicole?
the total, yes?
Just a question because I didn't get it well regarding in case the expense is affecting several like activities. In this case, what should we fill the column?
So in
Like
this case,
for example, if a finance officer, I'm allocating
Finance
expense for finance officer, so it's
Yes.
affecting the whole project.
yes, then you need to put here, I don't know how many activities that were finally in your project, but let's say that there are 7 activities in general in one project.
Yeah.
Then you need to put 7. Here it should be the name of the activity, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, no. Yes, of course. Here is the name of the activity, but it's on numbering, because the name of the activity, you will have it in the log frame. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this case, that is affecting the whole activities. You shouldn't put anything here because it's by activity. The percentage allocated to the activity. So if you put 7 activities here, the percentage will be, well, 100% because it's affecting all the activities. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense if it's for all the activities. It makes sense by activities. The total amount will be the same as the total amount allocated to the project, which is reported here. No.
Yeah, correct. I think
Yes,
under
it's here.
column
Under
yeah.
the total amount of the expense, it's the total amount of the activity because it affects all the activities. Then here is the total amount that is affecting that this activity, it's affecting the ACCD, which will be the same as the total cost allocated to ACCD. And the total amount that this activity represents for the, as a co-founding will be the same as the total allocated to Oxa Intermon. Yes?
Come on, clear. I'm sorry. Last question regarding the supplier ID.
Yes.
This is, for example, we have ID in case the supplier or is individual, but in terms of company, should we replace it by the VAT registration, for example, number, or what would be the ID of the supplier?
Yes, it should be the VAT identification.
Okay, and in this case, we should have a documentation confirming this ID number, or okay,
Yes.
because we need to check this in advance in this case, because like, for example, some companies, they already has lost their official documentation due to the current situation. And for some expenses in this case, we might not be able to provide like a documentation for this. Would this be a concern?
Sometimes in the invoices, when you have the invoice, usually there is the ID supplier or the VAT number on them. So if you have this VAT number or this ID supplier on the invoice, then it's fine. You don't need to provide any other documentation.
Okay. Okay, clear.
So this is the list. So the tag for the list that is being made here. Then you need to provide the exchange rate applied from the date where you do the transaction, the foreign currency, the amount in the foreign currency, the exchange rate apply, and the total amount in euros. In your case, that is in for euros, so just...
It will not be completed because we also do the transfers to our
Yes,
local partners in
exactly.
euro and BIF.
You don't need to complete them.
Yeah.
Or even, so it doesn't make any sense. And if you apply the exchange rate in FIFO, then yes, you need to complete it.
Yeah. But in this case also it's not applicable for us.
No. And for the economical report, that's all. So you don't need to fill all the tags as if for the ACCD. For the IC, sorry.
Mm.
So these are the 4 tags that you need to submit. And yeah, that's all. So it's like a more standardized document, just besides all these columns here by activities.
Yeah.
Because this is something that the ACCD does, because then they do a global report on how many activity, on detailing each activity that they founded. So it's more for their internal information than for us. But anyway, we need to see them.
Yeah, I think we can later prepare like 1 month report as like a trial version, and then we discuss it together. Would be better.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about saying that we need examples. I missed all the columns.
So it's quite intuitive, huh? I mean, it's it's to detail everything for every expense. I mean, it's a very large, you need to submit a lot of information, but at the end, you already have all this information in your invoices. So, but we can provide examples, or even we can do bilateral meetings for that. Once you submit the internal financial report, the intermediary one, we can see how it goes and we can fill it also together.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh. For the standard administrative formats, so this is related to the administrative templates that Melanie was referring to. It's true that in the last audit we had the recommendation that we should use the standardized templates from the donors. You will find them also in box. So this is the model for the receipts. That is already translated. So the name of the or company name, the name or company. This is the beneficiary of the local partner with the identification number, the title of agreement, the title of the project, and the file number, which is your internal number of receipts. For this, I think we can convert them in Word and to send already this, at least those ones already filled.
But this receipt, Nicola, is mainly for transfers to like a partner or even to service provider.
The service provider as well. It's all the kind
But
of receipts that you will need to use.
in case the service provider has already his own receipts, can we replace it with instead of this one, or we still have to use instead of his receipt, like we still have to use?
Is what Melanie just said. We had the recommendation of the auditor to use the standardized receipts from the donors, because we didn't do that in the other activations. For IC and for ACCB, we will need to use the standardized receipts from the donors. So we will need to use those ones.
And it's mandatory to use it.
Yes.
Because my bank statement sometimes is enough. Okay.
Yeah, we have receipts from some.
Yes.
No, so these are for the receipts, not for invoices.
I know, but when we pay to the supplier, already he gave us a receipt voucher, and we have our bank statement that proving that we paid for this supplier.
The bank statement.
So what they need to add another paper, and you know the paper here is very difficult.
So the bank receipts, so the bank statements need always to be attached, or the checks, or the way that you paid the provider. If it's receipts that you are allowed to pay in cash, you need to provide the receipt.
يعني you
Even
mean this is for cash payment only?
usually, yes, this is the receipts
Oh,
that
okay.
are already pre-approved by the donor
No,
that we already
yeah,
paid.
our understanding was for all
Yes, for
payments
all
no,
of
no,
the
no, no,
project,
payments.
no,
not
no.
mainly for the cash,
Thanks.
you know, so
That's
we
why I
have
was
just
saying.
To add
No, no, for the
another
too
load.
much.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Nicola.
For cash payments, you need to use this one phone.
Okay, because it's not written that for cash. Thank you.
For invoices,
Clear now. Yeah.
no. For invoices, we already have the invoices, bank statements, or checks, or yes, or checks, or transfer.
Thank God, yeah.
So it's quite easy. I mean, it's. I think that Oxana receipts have more information than those ones. But
No,
anyway,
it's perfect. If it's only for cash, it's perfect. No worries. Oh, it's written here and in the bottom of the template. It's
yes,
cash receipt. Okay.
yes. Sorry,
Okay.
I
Okay.
thought we were clear. So
No
this is the
worries.
model for cash receipts.
No worries.
Then you have the model for, you don't have that one, which are the value. I don't think you have the valuations. No, there are no valuation in your case. If I, oh yes, for the latrines, you will need those ones, I guess. I need to check them because I'm not sure. Anyway, I will check that and I will come back to you. Then you have these ones, which is the transfer of goods, which also you will need to use. Which is the description, acquisition date, quantity, allocation period. The allocation period, it depends on the asset that is transferred. In case of vehicles and other equipment not registered by the... So I will send you the allocation period as well, because it's not written here. Unless we have it in the PowerPoint, we will go back to that. But it's important to complete all the description of the good, the acquisition date, the quantity, the amount in euros, and the allocation period for each good that is transferred to communities.
A question, Nicole, or maybe we can come to it later regarding the acquisition period.
Yes.
For example, the latrines, like I don't know if we can like specify a number of years because you know they are installed in like internet displaced people camps, which can be changed next day. So in this case, like, should
Yes,
we consider it?
No, because in this case, it's not something that depends on us. It depends on the context. So,
Okay.
but we know that a latrine will have a lifelong period of
Okay.
X years. So you need to put the lifelong period of the latrine. But for the allocation period, I need to check if they have some determinate allocation periods by budget or by asset. For
Exactly. I
IT,
was asking this, يعني, if there is a level of materiality in this.
yes, I need to check that because for the IC it's very clear stated. For ACCD, I'm not sure about that. I need to check it and I will come back to you. For IC, it
perfect.
depends on the asset. Just like, for example, for computers, for vehicles that are given to communities or for infrastructure like latrines or something, they have a number of years. And I need to check that for the ACCD. Then there is for the per diems and transport. So per diems and travel costs. That needs also to go with the template of the ACCD. That is very similar to the Oxfam ones, if I have to say. They are the same epigraphs, but we need to complete those ones. What else? And the last one. This is a certificate of the expenses generated by right or responsibilities holder. This goes this is when you have a collective transportation for beneficiaries assisting to a training, for example, that instead of completing the per diems template that we have seen just before, they just need to complete those ones. With the name and surnames of persons, you just need to add lines, and the currency, well, the name of the person or the beneficiary, the place of origin, so from where they are picked up by the transport, the destination, so the place of the training, the date and time of the journey, the currency in which you pay, the number of meals, because sometimes there are some there are 3 days training and they are staying and they are lunch, dinner, breakfast, the amount per meal, the total cost of meals, the mode of transport, if it's a public or private transport, the total cost of transport, another kind of concept, if you give some other kind of per diems, and the signature of the person, of the beneficiary.
This is for international trainings or
No, this is
travel.
for national. So this is for the beneficiaries that are assisting to a training. It's for
Okay.
national persons. For example,
I
if you
probably we won't use it here.
yes,
For
but just in
okay.
case that you need to use it,
Okay.
just that you need to use that one. So in case that you provide some kind of per diems to beneficiaries that are in different locations from the place that is held the training. Yes, I know that maybe it's not your case, but we never know.
Yeah, yes, good to know. Thank you.
Oh, and these are the 4 or 5. Well, because this one you won't use it, so these are the 4 templates to be used. So generalities about the expenditures. So they must be linked to the project. They must be necessary for the implementation of the project. They must be incurred and paid during the project. So even when we ask for a no-cost extension, of course, they can be used during this extension. Financial returns, they must be reinvested in the form of new direct costs. So this is for when your accounts are generating interest, let's say. So if your accounts are not generating interest, we need a bank certificate that is a zero interest bank account. They will not be considered eligible. Provision for losses or contingent liabilities, expenditures on representation and protocols functions, interest, surcharges, and administrative and criminal penalties, expenses financed by another donor, VAT or other recoverable taxes, foreign exchange losses, and self-billing. So you cannot provide an invoice that is done by Oxfam in case of, I don't know, for paying furniture. Well, it's not your pays furniture, but some running material or puppetry or something like this. Or even PEF, for example, cannot make an invoice for all the costs of the co-founding. So this is mainly what is referred to. Budget ceilings. So the ICR must be maximum of 12% of the grant. In our case, we are distributing it. So this table is not real because finally they changed the rules in ICCD, and we already divided the percentage when we submitted the proposal as they were asking. Contingencies are maximum of 5% of the total amount. Acquisition investments and inventoriable assets, there must be a maximum of 10% of the total amount. This is already in the budget. When we submitted the budget, in the budget approved, we already took care about this percentage. We need to take care that when we do the expenses, that we don't go above of this percentage. Well, we can go above if we ask for an approval for that. So if we know that we are going to go above, we should ask for pre-approval from the ACCD. The audit is compulsory. The final assessment is compulsory. So this is in the case of the evaluation that it cannot exceed 3% of the amount. The ACCD obliges us to do at least one evaluation for the activations activated in this diagram. So in this case, there is an evaluation to be done for this activation that cannot exceed the 3% of the amount requested, which is like this. So these are the different budget lines that you have, and the eligible expenditures must be under these budget lines. So these are the monitoring requirements. I already went to them when I was explaining the different templates and the economic report, but we can go on with that. So the receipts will be accepted as a proof of expenditures if they are pre-approved from the ACCD, which is your case. They must contain the information equivalent to the invoice. So they must you need to fill the template provided by the ACCD. The certificate issued by the local partner for expenditure of goods and services are also accepted as a proof of expenditure. But these are related to the receipts. So in case that nobody can provide you with an invoice, you can use the template from the receipts for having it as a proof of payment. When you have a collective expenditure for traveling, you need to fill the template of the certificate of collective expenditure. Is the one that we just commented, the last one, that you think that you're not going to use. So this is important. It's for the authorization of ACCD. So this is for the authorization of receipts that we already submitted this approval and that they already approved. If you need to have any kind of other use of receipts, we need to increase the amount that we already asked for. This is quite important because if the auditor sees that we went above the authorization that ACCD did in expenses that are justified by receipts, they may not make them eligible. So they make they may make them ineligible. So you think at one point that we will need to increase these total amounts, just come with a change in the budget lines and an increase of the amounts, and we ask for this approval. So ACCD is very keen and open to approve them, so there is no problem. For that, we only need to be to see that in forehand. So this is also for the certificate of collective expenses for rights and responsibility holders. This means for beneficiaries that we need to have them pre-approved. I don't know if we already asked for that. I think so. If I'm not remembering it bad, but I need to check because I think that there was some transportation to beneficiaries to the training places. If not, I'm sorry. I'm just mixing activations.
Just a question, Nicole, about the
Yes.
collective payment authorization. This is as per the statement, it's mainly for like workshops and foods and the transportation. But for example, if I have collective payment for like latrines, which I'm already sharing like the cost over different projects, is it considered a collective payment or it does not fall under this?
No. You mean that you have a latrine that is funded by different donors?
Yeah,
No, this is
it's
not a
not
collective
collective.
payment.
Okay.
This is a cooperative payment. No, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. No, a collective expense means it's just for the beneficiaries. What they are meaning here. For the
Okay.
payment of the latrine that is shared between different donors is the same. When you are going to report the payment, it will be the same as you did for the last activation in IFID. You need to put the total of the invoice that you are paying, and then what you allocate to ACCD and to Roxam Intermon, and to the other funders.
Okay, clear.
So this is the information of an invoice, that what it should contain. So the number of the invoice, the supplier identification, the name, the registration number, the tax identification number, the address. Here they separated the registration number and the tax, because sometimes in some countries they are separate. Here in Spain, for example, the registration number and the tax identification number are the same. So maybe it's also your case or not. In case that it is not, you need to report both. In case that you already have one, then only one. The address, then the identification of the beneficiary, name, registration, tax. So this means the one is the supplier, the other name is who is paying the invoice, the detailed description of the goods, and the unit price and total price, including VAT, if there is VAT, the date and place of purchase, the signature and stamp of the supplier, and the means of payment, if it was by bank transfer, cash, check. If only part of the amount is allocated to the project, it must indicate which concept cost. Here it's saying the project stamp, but for the ACCD there is no project stamp. So here it's wrong because there is no project for there is no stamp for this project. Here, I was saying that the supporting documents must be kept for up to 5 or 10 years, depending on the donor. For the ACCD, it's up to 4 years. So in the final certificate, you need to put that the original invoices are kept in blah, 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 blah. Well, in your office. So in the address of your office for 4 years. So in your case, it will be, I don't know, in Gaza City or Derbala or in the office where you are staying in Gaza.
Sorry, Nicola, but I think I missed something. Project stamp, you said for this project there is no stamp. It won't be stamped. Okay, thank you.
Yes, because for the IC, there must be a project stamp, and the invoices must be stamped with a percentage allocated to IC. But for the ACCD, there is no project stamp.
But I'm sorry, but in case if we put a stamp, it should not be a problem, right?
No,
Because
Why?
it's still
Why?
for Oxford,
نحط
we still
stamp.
have to do it.
of course not. I mean, if you want to put your
No,
outside,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, because for
It's
our
not
internal
a
review, we
donor
have to put
requirement.
a
Yes.
stamp.
Exactly. So, of course, I mean, we are not going to tell you not to put a stamp on it. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
it's also like the paid stamp that usually are in the invoices. So, what it means, it means that you don't
The
need to
allocation
put
is stamp.
exactly
She mean, not the paid stamp.
the donor stamp.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
No need, ya Tarek, no need.
We will talk about it, my son.
Okay.
But if for your internal check you want to put a stamp that is referring to a CCD for your internal review, it's also you can put it.
Exactly, Nicole. This is the case. We
Yes.
still have to do with referring to the cost center where we already
Exactly.
approved this
So it's
cost.
not a problem if you want to put it.
Perfect.
So modification. So there are substantial modifications that need an approval and authorization for the ACCD, and there are modifications that they not need a prior approval from the ACCD. ACCD. So substantial modification, 10,000 of the approved amount. So you go ahead of 10,000 euros, you need a prior authorization. If you are coming with changes in objectives, results, and indicators, local stakeholder and partners, and the project location, and an extension of more than 3 months, you need prior approval from the ACCD. Also, if there is a change in beneficiaries, if there is a change in total beneficiaries, for example, if there is an increase of internal displaced persons and you are able to respond with this activation to more beneficiaries, we need a prior approval. And also, if there is a change, if there is a decrease on beneficiaries, there is a need also of prior approval, at least to communicate it, because it has an impact in the whole intervention. What it cannot be modified is budget deviation and transfers between current expenditures. So let's say direct costs direct costs and capital expenditures, which is infrastructure costs. So you cannot change expenditures between the direct costs and the infrastructure. If you want to change it, because there is a need and a justified need, we can always ask for a prior approval for that, if it's if there is a justification. And changing.
Well, I'm a bit like confused with these two lines. The first two lines, for example, under the substantial modification, it says like 10,000. This is euro, for example.
Yes.
That we do. This is the maximum that does not require donor approval.
Yes.
Correct. And this is all over. It's not all over the budget categories we have in the budget.
Exactly. It's between one category. So it's between the direct cost, let's say current expenditures, or between capital expenditure.
Yeah.
Which is the latrines and all these kind of costs.
Yeah, so the single budget line within the chapter itself. So we can
Exactly.
say like this. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. But if there is a change in the context that needs to be changed, I will assess that we justify it very well to the donor and we ask for this authorization. Because in a context that is so volatile, maybe you need to change because maybe you're not able to build latrines, or maybe you are able to build latrines, but you are not able to provide NFIs, for example, which is something that can happen. So in this case, so NFIs are in direct cost, in current expenditures, and latrines are in capital expenditures or infrastructure. So if you think, and we can justify very well this kind of change, then I will go for the change. And I would ask to the donor for this approval, because there is a need. I mean, it's something that it does not depend on us. I mean, it's something that is happening.
Recipients, you mean beneficiaries of the project? Sorry, if I missed.
No, I was meaning between expenditures, also between beneficiaries. So if from one moment there is a decrease, a substantial decrease of beneficiaries in the project, I think here it's not written about beneficiaries, but for the IFID it's written. We need a prior approval from the donor. And actually, what is written for the IFID, which is based under the grants Spanish law, that it's also for the ACCD, because it's the regional government, the law is the same is the grants Spanish law. So if there is a decrease on beneficiaries and you see that we need to change activities or that you need to change location, then yes, there is a need on approval. Also, if there is an increase of beneficiaries. Okay. I'm passing the hour. It's already 11. Sorry. I think it's almost the end. Then the request must be made in writing, stating the reason for the change as soon as possible when the need for the modification arises. A request for a substantial change to the budget must relate to the total budget for the project, and not just to the part corresponding to the ACCD grant. So it must relate to the whole picture, to the whole project. Also for the Oxfam Intermon co-founding. Works and service contracts. So this is the thresholds for works and for service contracts that you need to submit the three offers. In your case, we already asked for an approval, and we have it not to follow the three offers. But yes, you will need to submit a summary why this contractor was selected.
Mean a waiver?
Sorry?
A waiver or not bring
We
three bids?
have the waiver, but even if you have the waiver, usually you submit the summary for why this company was selected. Indirect tax and VAT. Tax system cannot be charged because tax has not been paid. Tax is recoverable. It cannot be charged because the tax is paid, but there is then a process of recovery. It's not your case. Tax is not recoverable if it's paid and included in the invoice. A certificate of non-recovery of VAT issued by the tax office must be presented, which cannot be done in your case, as we did for the activation in the IT. There was a pre-approval for that, and also we had a certificate of the OTF, if I don't remember that. But anyway, we will ask for this approval, which is the one that is pending. So applies to all expenditure related to the project, and it is those ones. So no, sorry. I mean, payment of daily allowance, we already went to them. We just explained them before. These are thresholds from the ACCD, which are not translated. In your case, Middle East is not here, so I will need to update this one, which are the thresholds for per diems and transport. But anyway, Oxfam is more restrained on the per diems as the ACCD and the IFID, so I don't think that there is a problem with
I
that.
think this is not applicable for us because what we have on the project is mainly local stuff.
Exactly.
So yes, we would not suffer from this part.
No, and even for the Oxfam internal per diems thresholds are more restrictive than those ones.
Yeah.
So this is for everyone, for expatriates and also national staff. Payment of daily allowance. You have the individual ones that we saw and the collective ones that we just also saw. Also the expenses incurred by rights by beneficiaries. That there must be an authorization request. Then transfer of assets. We already saw the receipts. Well, the template, sorry. They can be transferred to the beneficiaries of the project. They cannot be transferred to the local partner, and they cannot be transferred to a local institution. So they can be transferred for the community leaders, but not for the local public institutions. So this is how to calculate the exchange rate. But we have the authorization for the info euro, and you can even do the average, or you can do you can use each exchange rate when used or when you did the transfer. So it's not something that is like the IFID actually, or simpler. There is no need of a specific bank accounts or having a pre-approval for using the general ones. Here it stands assessment, but it's evaluation, so it's wrong. The translation is not compulsory, but for us in this activation, yes, because we have 3 activations for the whole year, and the IFID made us compulsory one of the activations. As you know, there is one for the gas activation. We are ready on it with part of your team, and we are in the process. So I'm not going to explain this slide because it doesn't make any sense. If you have some, when you're reading it, you have some questions, we'll come bilaterally, but as there is already 20 minutes almost over, I will go with the audit. That is compulsory. There is no final audit for the entire RRM, but for the activations, for each activation. It covers the whole budget, the grant, and so the ACCD contribution and Oxfam Intermon contribution. The ACCD doesn't have to authorize the TOs, which is happening with other donors, and this is the law where is written. They examine the specific procedures provided by the guidelines, such as the existence or not of interest generated by the grant, bank transfer of funds, exchange rate, supply, the use of receipts, valuation, depreciations, and expenses. The audit invoice must be submitted before the final report, because we need to submit the final report of the audit together with all the reports. And the ACCD can request the documentation at any time. Yes.
Can I ask something regarding the audit invoice? How will we pay it before the final report?
The thing is that the final report that Oxfam Intermon is going to submit to the ACCD must be audited and must contain the final report from the audit as well. So this means that when we are going to submit in your OPA, you're going to submit your final report in 3 months after the final date of the activation. And then we are contracting the auditor, and the auditor has 3 months for auditing this activation. Once the auditor finishes with the audit, we can submit the whole reports with the evaluation, with everything.
Yes, this makes sense. Tamam, thank you.
So this is visibility and logos. You can find the logos in this link. You already have them because Rada already asked them, and I already sent to her. We are obliged to make public the financial support of the donor and to put in the logo the phrase with the collaboration of the ACCD. And if there is a public product or equipment or a public handbook or something, we need to complete to put this disclaimer. And that's it, finally. Thank you so much. So now we stop sharing and I can see you. So any question after or anything that you want to complete, Melanie, that I didn't say?
No, I think it's all clear, but if you have any question, you're welcome to ask us in any moment.
For sure. Any time you can send us an email to both of us or to any. I will send you the recording and the presentation, also the links to the templates, and then I will check about the thresholds for the assets, for the transfer of assets, if there are some, like what we were just explaining, how many years they need to sign. And I think that's all on my side. Maybe you have some questions, doubts, regrets.
Thank you, Nicola, and thank you, Melanie. Yeah, it's all clear to me so far, but I'm pretty sure during the reporting and the implementation, we will have other questions and we will come back to you. I don't know if other colleagues from funding or MISA finance, if you have other questions as well.
No, thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Melanie. It's
Thank
fine
you,
for me.
everyone. I'm all good too.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and sorry for the delay. I went a bit over the time, but that's it.
Bye-bye.
No worries, dear.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
you
Have
all.
a good day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.